But I'll tell you what, it's for this next game, if we can move on, it's going to be real hard for me to go against the grain. I talked about how the Ravens are going to be motivated to come out and beat down the Browns. Bears and Ben Johnson going to Detroit to face a talented Lions team that just got absolutely demoralized by the Packers on the road in a huge game. Home opener in Detroit. Whew, this is going to be a tough environment to play in. Ford Field's going to be rocking. It's going to be loud. And I don't think that you can be very encouraged from what you saw from any of the Bears, really, last week after the first drive. This is going to be another crazy game, highly anticipated game. And again, the crowd's going to be as involved in this one as any this week, for sure. Christian, what are your thoughts so far on what we saw, whatever that was from the Bears on Monday night? What are you expected to do in Detroit on Sunday?
I think the key point to take away is that it is really early still. Obviously, game one for Ben Johnson. A lot of good things to take away. Caleb showed flashes, as he always does. Obviously, you have key issues. He's missing passes that he needs to make. He's not playing necessarily on schedule yet, but it is a work in progress. I do think Ben is going to demand so much more this week compared to how bad it was last week, especially when it came to pre-snap penalties. I think that was the biggest frustration for me watching the Bears last week, was all the pre-snap issues. But with that being said, we're a good team. We still should have won that game. I think there's no question about it. We would have won that game if, the refs don't get involved, but that's another story. I wish the mainstream media would talk about it, though. They never
But
do.
that's going to happen. That's good.
Not four plays. Not four plays. Not four plays, man.
You got to be able to overcome that. You're up two scores in the fourth quarter. You can't absolutely have to be able to.
You can't. No. You can't overcome four plays. The refs absolutely should be punished for that. No doubt about it. We can talk about it some other time. I can show you all four plays. Brutal.
I think
I watched them. You don't think I watched them?
Brutal plays.
Yes.
You can't afford those are in the time that they were made on a third and 18.
Are you saying that NFL referees make bad calls in games?
No,
in big spots?
They made big spot calls. That doesn't happen. You don't make four big time spot calls in big moments.
Happens like every game.
No, I disagree.
There are brutal calls that the teams could blame on the refs every game. I think you're letting the Bears off the hook here.
I disagree. I don't think the refs did a good job. What's the point of New York or whoever having a fucking button to talk to these refs? What's the point of having them if they're not going to say pick up the fucking flag? That's a fact. So don't start with that. Jonah Jackson did not play well. Drew Dahlman did not play well. I'm hoping
now we're
to see
getting
some more
to why we actually lost.
That's not why we actually fucking lost, dude. Don't fucking start. On to the next game. Bears are going to win this game. Bears are going to win this game.
No, I think you guys should. I might sit this segment out, dude. This is great.
I got to jump on this. Christian's gonna let the Bears just get off the hook here, but completely unacceptable. The whole game.
Is momentum not real?
I think it can be a combination of both, guys.
Momentum's real. I don't think that the Bears were. There are bad calls in every NFL game. You have to be able to overcome them. You have to be able to overcome it.
Not four key calls.
You can't have the other team. You're facing a rookie in his first game, essentially basically a rookie for all intents and purposes, and J.J. McCarthy throw a pick six in the second half of a game to put you up 2 scores, and then you found a way to lose. Offensive line looked like it got gassed by the end of the game. The defensive line in the second half was brutal. Couldn't get a run game going.
Well, these are all issues that you knew about.
Tired, dude.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but the 3 things that you just listed: run game, defensive line play, offensive line play. Other than maybe they addressed the offensive line in the offseason, but those were issues coming into this game.
Well, this was supposed to be an issue that got fixed, Turtle. This was supposed to be. They paid all this money for the 3 interior O linemen that were supposed to fix everything. Dahlman, Jackson, and Tooney. And by the end of the game, all 3 of them looked tired. All 3 of them looked like they weren't ready to finish. So and they couldn't. They got dominated by Minnesota's defensive line. By the end of that game, they couldn't win in the trenches on both sides of the ball, and that is what cost them the game. Not any calls by the refs. The calls by the refs shifted momentum, but they didn't lose them the game, Christian. What lost them the game was getting dominated on both sides of the trenches, and then
does Justin Jefferson score a touchdown? Does Justin Jefferson score a touchdown?
Christian,
if they call the right play,
you have to bake in bad calls by the refs. They're going to happen.
No, you don't.
Yes.
No, you don't. This is the NFL. This is $1 billion industry.
And the refs are terrible in the NFL. It's the truth. You have to be able to win a game independent of the refs.
It's not right. It's not right.
Well, we haven't even gotten.
I see both your guys' point. I see both your guys' point. I do. Like, I don't think you should lose a game up 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. I certainly don't. No matter really what happens, like you got to be able to muster up offense even when you're up 2 scores. You can't let them hang around. They let them hang around all. Let them hang around all game. All game they let them hang around. They could have been up. They could have been up 24-6 or 7 or whatever it was by the end of the first half if they really wanted to. Instead, it was a 10-6 game. In my opinion, like they had their opportunities. They let them hang around for too long, and they took their foot off the gas pedal. And JJ McCarthy, give him some credit. He came in like a killer in the fourth quarter, and he fucked you guys up. That's what happened.
Well, here's what I like for you guys, Pat. I think I think the Lions secondary looked very lost last game going up against Green Bay, and you're going up against a quarterback in Caleb Williams, a lot more shifty, getting out of the pocket, getting out of pressure. We saw it last week of him able to avoid sacks and extend these plays with either throws down the field, scrambling for first downs. He looked really, really good when it came to zone pass rush.
He was the Bears' leading rusher. He was the Bears' leading rusher, your quarterback in that game. You can't have that.
I think
he looked good moving with the ball. He didn't look like he could pass the ball. At least not in that game. The nerves were way too high.
He didn't look like he could pass the ball, but you also, I think, have a Lions secondary that's going to be chomping at the bit to try and lock down the defenders. I think you're going to get a lot of chance. I love Caleb's rushing over in this game in terms of what I think the game plan is going to be and them trying to contain him, and us at least seeing last game, him able to get out of those pressures. Now, I think that's a lot that has to do with the Bears O-line. They were kind of little boyed a lot up front, and I mean, that's what created the pressure, but also created the opportunities. Where I think what I also think you guys are going to benefit from is I think when we looked at the Lions last week, you could see it went from Ben Johnson play calling to elementary play calling.
Yes.
And that was it. The struggles were exacerbated just by that. Jared Goff looked all out of sorts trying to get his playmakers involved in the intermediate part of the field where we saw him thrive in the Ben Johnson offense. So, play action and deep ball threats, I think if it's neutralized up front and, you attack what I think is a hobbled offensive line for the Lions going up against, I think you'd be able to neutralize what are the playmakers in this. And I like the Bears with just kind of how it breaks down when you look at each side of the ball and each unit that you guys, I think, have advantages on.
Well, a 6-point spread is pretty big for a divisional game this early on in the year for a team that had expectations to do something in the Bears and theoretically was able to address some of these points. We talked about how disappointing, in my opinion, the offensive line and specifically the interior offensive line acquisitions in Jackson, Dahlman, and Tooney were in this past game. But I was very impressed with Dayo Odeyingbo, surprisingly, in last game. He had made a couple plays, especially early on, that people weren't expecting. People were kind of already writing him off as a bad signing. I don't know whether he'll be able to do that against the Lions O-line and their offensive tackles. I know Penei Sewell is going to be ready for whatever you got. And Montez Sweat didn't make a play until well into the fourth quarter. So I think he's going to be able to neutralize Montez Sweat. But, Mike, I think the key point that you made is this is going to be a real test for John Morton to say whether, we ran into a buzzsaw with the Packers defense. It was my first week of play calling. Bears defense ain't a buzzsaw, but it is coached by, I would say, an above-average defensive coordinator who showed you what he could do early on in Dennis Allen. I liked what I saw, especially in the first half from Dennis Allen last week. I think he's a quality play caller on the defensive side. And when your defense gets tired and gassed the way they did, and how long they were on the field in the second half of that game, you can kind of, and you go down your top three corners. That's another issue that Dennis Allen had to deal with, and Jalen Johnson was a full practice participant today. So today's Wednesday. So yeah, he'll most likely be ready to go on Sunday. That'll be a big addition to the Bears defense that they didn't have this past week. It's going to be a huge test for John Morton, because if things go wrong against the Bears defense, if the Bears defense is able to keep them in the game and give Caleb Williams a chance to win again, this time probably from behind, but we'll see. I mean, it's going to be up to Caleb Williams, really, because like I said, I do think that the defense is going to be able to, at the very least, keep them in this game. I think that the 6-point spread is too much. I do think the Bears will cover the 6-point spread. Now, whether the Bears will be able to win or not is going to come down to whether Caleb Williams can figure out what he needs to between the ears. He's got to be able to see it. At this point, and I hate to say it, he's throwing to he's only throwing when guys are college open. He needs to be able to throw when guys are NFL open. Okay, he needs to be able to throw with anticipation. He needs to be able to see the field, read the defenses. That's why we paid Ben Johnson all this money. That's why we brought him here, is to get this figured out, to get this guy on the right track. Now, after week one, the scripted plays look great. That first drive looked great. But again, it was scripted. From there, it looked awful. I mean, if we're being honest, it looked sloppy. It looked disorganized. They couldn't get a run game going. This is going to be a chance for Caleb Williams. I think the defense is going to keep them in this game. This is going to be a chance for Caleb Williams to show that he is on the right track. But after last week, I don't know how you could be confident that that's what he's going to do.
Well, I also think it's going to, I mean, your defense turned into a pumpkin after holding.
They were on the field the entire second half.
They were, but you also held Justin Jefferson to one catch for 4 yards in the first half. I mean, yes, it was the time of possession. It was, the field position. It was, being kept on the field. I agree. But 3 straight touchdown drives isn't just time of possession right there. And yes, I mean, no Jalen Johnson, no TJ Edwards, no Kyler Gordon. I get it, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know if this was about bodies you were missing and then more so collapsing when it mattered most, though, Pat, is what I'm saying.
But you're going to collapse when it matters most when you've been on the field the whole game.
Yeah.
And your offense can't get anything going.
And the penalties were that was hard to watch, man.
The penalties were terrible. But as we said, I think you look at the last 2 years, we're better. We should have beat Detroit at least once a year for the last 2 years. We got better. I can't say the same about Detroit. The only way they win this game is through the run game. If you think they got better, I'd like to know, because I don't think they got better at all. I think they got significantly worse.
No, and I mean, and to that point, we haven't mentioned the loss of Frank Ragnow. If you ask a Detroit fan who the bigger loss was between Ben Johnson and Frank Ragnow, I don't know how much of it is pride that they would immediately default to saying it's all Frank Ragnow that they're missing, and
not
John Morton is
either.
Bad, but it's not Ben Johnson that they're missing.
Can we
we asked this last week. If you would have known Ragnow was retiring, would you have re-signed Zeitler?
Yep, and I think they would have at this point, just based on how that offensive line, really got sunned across the board against that Packers D.
And I mean,
yeah, but I guess you had a good game. Sorry, Mike, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but had a good game. Gervon Dexter, I think he had played a really good game last week. That's all I wanted to say. I thought he played really well.
A turtle shout out.
Yeah, he might have an advantageous matchup this.
I liked
this
what
weekend.
I saw from the Bears D line in the first half. I really did. I thought there was something there. I mean, think that has something.
Are you worried about Ben Johnson putting on a masterclass of not knowing how to handle a game though? I'm just
no.
Okay,
I would just say I would take a script from Kevin O'Connell.
The timeout. I mean, points on the board. It looked like after you went up, it was conservative play calling, and then all the penalties.
The challenge was bad. He had a bad challenge.
The challenge was bad.
He had a bad decision expecting. I think if you gave Cairo Santos 100 tries on as much rest as he would ever need between the tries, he's never kicking it out of the back of the end zone.
Yeah,
So
that
the
ball needs to
decision,
go out of bounds. That was a poor
the decision,
choice, dude.
or you drafted Christian loves drafting special teamers in the draft for whatever reason. You drafted a punter with this big leg and Torrey Taylor in the fourth round.
Not in the
Why can't he kick
round.
off? But why
Not in
can't
the
he kick the
fourth
ball
round.
out of the back of the end zone? Is my point. You got to know your personnel.
Can't you change it to like a free kick or whatever, and have him take a free kick? Again, I'm trying to think back to the rules of football, but
In that situation, you could just kick it out of bounds too. I mean, onside kick, anything that's not going to elapse
the landing zone.
Yeah.
But to the final point is, I just want to see Caleb. I would be happy if he threw 4 interceptions in one game, just trying to hit the first target. I would not care. He needs a Peyton Manning game. He needs to just be able to let it loose and turn it loose.
Caleb's one saving grace is that he's been able to not throw.
First of all, is it Caleb your guy, Pat? That's your guy.
He's my guy.
Right?
He's my guy.
Well, stop with
it.
This
looked bad.
Man.
It looked bad.
Come on, man.
He needs to tie his feet to his progressions. You know what? I'm not going to give up on Caleb, but I think we'd be remiss to say that he's got to figure it out. He's got to get it figured out. Okay.
He's got
stuff to figure out.
Spent the whole last year saying, "Hey, isn't Jaden better?" And now he's fucking coming around.
Well, Jaden's not that. Well, I do think that Caleb's more talented than Jaden at the end of the day. But here's the thing. Well, here's the thing. I think that Caleb is more talented, has better arm talent, has the potential to be a better quarterback. But in between the ears, Jaden's got it beat majorly right now. And that's what he needs to figure out. All I'm going to say about Caleb is I still believe in him, but it's contingent upon him making major strides in terms of being able to play from the pocket, being able to read his progressions, and thrive in this Ben Johnson offense. Because, it can't be what it was this past week of improvisation, of running out of the pocket, you can't have him be your leading rusher in a game. That absolutely can't happen. You need to get the run game going. You need to have him see the field. And there's so many guys running open that he didn't see. It was just demoralizing. I think there's a potential for, as the year goes on, for him to improve in that. And I do expect them to improve. And I expect some of those plays to open up and be there for him to make. And I think he will be more accurate. A quarterback being slightly inaccurate week 1 isn't completely out of the realm of possibility. I think we saw it around the league, but I think it's more publicized with Caleb because he's Caleb and because it was Monday Night Football and all the hype leading into that game. So I do expect him to improve, okay, but he has to. He absolutely has to, because it can't. If they keep going,
what do you mean by he has to? What do you mean by he has to?
I'll tell you what I mean by he has to. I'll tell you what I mean by he has to. If the offense plays the way they did in that game on Monday night, if they play that way throughout the entire year, we could be one of the worst teams in the NFL.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
So what are even Bears fans?
I'm cool. I'm cool with Caleb being.
I want him to throw 4 picks and us to be the worst team in the NFL.
I want to know if Caleb if he can read an offense, if he could find read his progressions. That's all I care about this year. That's all we should care about this year. 4,000,
and that's why he needs to improve.
That's what he needs to figure out this year. If I see him,
if Caleb throws for 4,000 yards, you guys are winning at least 9 football games, probably.
Depending on the turnovers. If he turns the ball over a lot.
He's not going to throw 4,000 yards if they play the way they played on Monday night.
Right.
No, absolutely not. And against a questionable Vikings secondary at that too, who didn't have basically their captain in Harrison Smith. So.
And they were playing Jeff Okudah.
And
God, you can wind me up.
Did you also? I mean, that one play he missed with DJ Moore going down the sideline, wide open for a touchdown, when I think he just held on to the ball with too much pressure. I mean, those are just mistakes you have to that need to be. I mean, that
he missed DJ Moore on 2 huge passes in the game. I mean, that absolutely should have been there, and that he overthrew both times.
Missed Loveland a couple times, wide open in the middle.
I mean, he was lucky to have Cole Kmet catch that seam route, one-handed catch, one of the best plays you'll ever see from a tight end. Yeah, he got lucky in that sense. I need to see better, and it can't look like that. It's got to look better than that. It has to look better than that, whatever that was.
No doubt.
sooner than later. And I just don't know if it'll be on Sunday. However, to wrap this all up, I do think that the Bears defense is going to keep them in the game. I think Dennis Allen is just a tough matchup for John Morton. If you struggle against the Packers defense and the play calling there, he looked like he was outcoached. I think Dennis Allen has the chance to outcoach him as well. And the pressure is going to be on the Lions to find their footing. It's going to be easier for them to do at home than it was at Lambeau. But the Bears offense is going to get challenged in this game. The fans are going to be rowdy. The Lions defense is going to be ready and motivated. And, the Bears have shown you that they're a very beatable team and they can beat themselves. So as long as the Lions, do what they have to do, they can probably count on the Bears to make, whether it's a coaching error or an error on offense. I don't feel confident about that. So I'll take the Bears to cover. I'll take the Bears to cover just because of the spread and my lack of faith in what John Morton's been able to do. But I don't expect them to win this game. I would be absolutely floored if they were able to.
Offense lights this defense up. No Terrion Arnold, and you eat crow. Matter of fact, you should eat a cayenne pepper for this.
You should.
No, you don't get to assign. Well, how about this, Christian? Well. You don't get to assign who gets to eat a ghost pepper. You're so confident. How about you eat a ghost pepper if the Bears lose?
Sure.
This guy's taking over ghost
you got
it. Duties.
You got this. Now this could get okay.
All right,
Christian, I want you to. No. I need you to say it. I need you to say it.
I will eat a cayenne ghost pepper. What are you talking, Pat?
No. I need you to say. I need you to get it on record.
I will eat a cayenne pepper. You are a hot cayenne pepper. If the Bears win, if the Bears lose, what I'm saying.
If the Bears lose, you will eat a cayenne ghost pepper.
Yeah.
If the Bears,
why are you so wishy-washy right now? Why are you so wishy-washy?
I'm not wishy-washy at all. I have no confidence in the Bears to win this game.
No, I'm.
You are so confident that you're willing.
I'm gonna fade Pat. I'm gonna fade Pat this entire podcast, except for the Ravens. Fair
enough.
Bears. Come on.
I'm gonna be rooting for the Bears. I just don't expect them to win.
He wants Tampa and Detroit. Hell no.
He's not gonna let me live the Tampa pick down.
No, I can't.
I'm a Baker believer.
There's value. I love Baker, man. I do love Baker.
Mike, what's your pick in this game?
My pick in this game is.
If you say a total, I swear.
No. I got the Bears first half, though.
Okay.
Bears to win the first half?
Bears first half, yep.
Wow.
No, but
it's going to make it that much more soul-crushing if they blow it.
Pick for
the full game. Just
pick the winner.
Game.
Whatever you're feeling.
God, the consternation. Do we really think that the Lions have fallen off this hard after what we saw, the collapse from the Bears this past week?
We were better than the Lions last year, Pat. We were better than
we were better than the Lions last year?
Yes. Did you not see the Thanksgiving game?
I'll go ahead. I
love how confident you're saying this.
I'll go ahead.
You're going to take the Lions, Mike?
-6.
Okay.
I've got one stat. I got to find it, though. Hang on.
Oh, my God, dude.
I'm telling you that the Bears were not better than the Lions last year?
We should have beat them last year. We should have beat them last year. What are you talking about?
Yes, that was last year. That was a different
Did they
circumstances.
Get worse? Did we get better and did they get worse?
Ostensibly, okay, but I think that there's still so much to figure out. How are you confident after last week? How are you confident after Monday night?
How are you so confident in the Lions?
Move on.
How are you confident in the Lions after last week? What are we
They're playing at home, dude. This is going to be the loudest Ford Field has ever been. It's going to be the loudest outside of a playoff game.
This isn't going to be the most motivated the Bears have been in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years.
I have no idea because I don't know if this team has started to even give up on this coach after last week.
I don't know the exact stat, Pat, and again, this is a trend, so I don't know. It doesn't work in your favor, but I if I butcher the numbers, maybe one of the people in the comments can tell me, but I know this is true. So I believe teams that lost in week 1 and then are 6-point or more favorites at home the following week are like 11-22 against the spread over the last 4 years. That lost in week 1 and then play at home as 6-point favorites on the road the next week. So that works in our favor, Christian.
Well, hey, I said that the Bears might cover. My pick is the Bears to cover, but to lose for whatever that's worth.
Well, they've got to, if they are going to win, they have to cover as well. So rather than be in position to win the football game, we'll just see what happens.
when it comes to disappointing their fans, the Bears find a way to break these trends.
We act
and
like
to
the
break
Lions
mold.
didn't do that for like 15 years as well, though, too.
The Bears definitely broke you, Pat. They definitely broke you.
Yeah, I would say they probably did because I was drinking the Kool-Aid as much as anybody after the first drive. But the offense didn't give me any hope from there. So I need to see it from the offense before I have confidence in the Bears again. I'm going to say that. Until then, I legitimately think that they have the chance to be one of the worst teams in the league if the offense can't get it right. I expect them to do better, but if they don't improve, this could be one of the worst teams in the NFL. And I know you're okay with that. And I know you're okay with Caleb throwing 4 picks in a game, apparently.
All
But
right,
we've spent so much time on this.
Let's move on.
Ladies and gentlemen,
He got fired up
you're
there.
looking at a head, a spine, and some spinal fluid right there. A broken man.
Well, no, I'm resolute and I'm steadfast in my belief that the Bears will
Oh
disappoint
boy!
me.
If the Bears win
Okay.
this football game, the amount of vitriol
Oh, this guy's
you're
gonna
gonna
be
get on
so
next week's
back,
pod.
dude. Oh, it's
Yeah.
gonna be
All right, let's
sickening
go.
how back this guy.
Oh,
is.
I'm gonna
move it
have
on.
total.
You
If the
got
Bears
fired
win the
up there.
game, then I'm completely flipping and I'm gonna be all over the Bears, obviously, because it'll mean they
Sure.
they
After you
listen
eat
to what
that
I had to
ghost
say.
pepper.
I'm not eating the ghost pepper. Christian's gonna eat the ghost pepper. I
Put
hope
your money
Christian
where
doesn't
your
have to
mouth
eat a
is,
ghost
dude.
pepper,
Put
but I
your money where
expect
your
him
mouth
to.
is. But if Lions lose, you're eating that pepper, dude.
If Pat eats a ghost pepper, it'll be the best tan he got all summer. That face will go bright fucking red.
Sounds about right. I usually need a sunburn to fade into a tan, so maybe it works the same way. All right, so we can move on then to the next game. I'm not putting any ghost pepper bet down this week. I'm not going to be rooting
Fire.
against the Bears, so I don't have to eat a ghost pepper, okay? All right, great.